Today I'm going to try out a recipe on the back of a Stork baking margarine tub. This one is for a Victoria sandwich. Now Victoria sandwich cakes are actually quite low in calories in general, about 186 calories a slice. These were quite popular after the war, but back then you probably only had the luxury of a little bit of homemade jam. So the recipe says 175 grams of self-raising flour and 1 teaspoon of baking powder in a big bowl. So we'll do that first. So here's the flour. This is gluten-free flour. And a teaspoon of gluten-free baking powder. This is Dr. Oetker. Always, if you need gluten-free, look on the back of the tub. So that's sieved. 3 fresh eggs. I've got 3 eggs here. 1. Give them a mix with my 1. 2. Always try and use free range eggs as long as you can. 3. I'm not convinced that 3 is enough. You might be better using large eggs. These are mixed eggs. Free range, but mixed sizes. Turn that round. That's beginning to look a little bit more hopeful. And then 175 grams of caster sugar. Here I have 175 grams of Sainsbury's golden caster sugar. Okay. This is a 1 bowl recipe. And then it's half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. We'll use this one. Mix that in. You could use an electric whisk if you prefer, but I'm doing it the old-fashioned way. And then 175 grams of Stork margarine. My granny used to use Stork, and she was an amazing baker. I just followed suit. What's good enough for Granny is good enough for me. Let's stir that in. Now I don't think this consistency is loose enough, so I'm going to add another little egg. So here's another little egg. Put that in. And this should be just about right. Of course you could be really pedantic, and you could then weigh all your eggs to make sure you've got the exact quantity, but that's a bit too much hassle. Beat it well. Try not to lick the spoon, although it's probably quite moreish to some people. I personally don't like raw batter, but there we go. And I'm now going to spread it evenly into the 2 cake pans. These have been greased and lined with just a circle of greaseproof paper. I got a pack of 40 greaseproof circles from the Jane Asher range, Poundland. 2. So spread them with the back of a spoon, or you could use a palette knife just to even it out up to the edges. Don't worry if one is very slightly more puffed up than the other. It really won't matter, especially when you've got your filling in. and then they go in now in a preheated oven at 175 Celsius, gas mark 4, for probably about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on your oven temperature. Oven temperatures may vary. It takes us probably about 16, 17 minutes. I'm going to remove them now because they look ready. If they're ready, use a skewer and it should come out clean. That's perfect. So I'm going to leave those now for a few minutes, and then I'm going to turn them out onto a wire rack to cool. These are cool now, so I'm going to fill them with jam and some cream. One of them is very slightly thinner than the other, so that one can go on top. I'm turning this over, and I'm going to spread it with some Heartless strawberry jam. This was on special offer recently for £1. So I put a few wicked blobs of jam on top and spread it with a knife all over. It doesn't have to be really thick, but at the same time you want it generous, you don't want just a smattering. You could just serve the cake with jam. That should be alright. I'm going to put some globs of cream now on top. You could pipe it on. This is whipped double cream. I've whipped it quite stiff. I'm not going to put too much on because once the top layer of sponge is on it, it's going to press it down anyway. Just about ready now. A bit more at the side. Any leftover naughty cream can of course be used on hot chocolate drinks, or with a bit of fresh picked fruit from the garden as a little bit of a wicked dessert. Right, that's looking good. I'll pop the top on and press it down a little. You see that's just held in nicely. And I'm going to put now on top a bit of icing sugar. I'm going to pass it through a tea strainer. These are lots of icing sugar, just a little bit dusting. I often use my tea strainer to do the dusting around, it's just right. You can of course invest in one of those mugs with the sieves in the top, which you can get from the pound shop, from the Jane Asher range, but I think a tea strainer, if you have one, works just as well, and it saves you £1. So there we have it, a delicious Victoria sponge.